I am not a pro mechanic. Do your own research, but I am a beginner and I like to pull with stuff like this. There's your disclaimer. Thanks. Went to start the lawnmower to mow the yard the other day and it would not start. So today we're going to walk through troubleshooting this guy. The starter is engaging, so it's not a starter problem, it's not a battery problem. We're going to look at three things. It's got to have spark, it's got to have fuel, and it's got to have airflow. I got a spark tester. It was like $6 off of Amazon. You hook it up to the spark plug, and if you're getting spark, it will light up. These are super easy to hook up. This goes to your spark plug wire. This end goes into your spark plug. I will say this is extremely dangerous. My insulation has come off of my spark plug cable. If you touch that while it's running, it is going to shock you. There's like over 1,000 bolts that go through this cable into your spark plug. Don't know if you can see that out here. It's kind of bright, but that was flashing. So I am getting spark. Now we're going to change spark plug.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Here I am. Here I am.
Old spark plug out. 5/8 wrench for that. New spark plug in. Thumb tight, and you go about a quarter turn more to get it torqued down. You don't want to go too tight, you might rip the threads. Hook the spark plug cable back up. Once again, you don't want to touch any of that exposed metal while it's running, or you will get shocked.
What a way.
We checked spark, I got spark. So it's not an issue with the engine ignition coil, it's not an issue with the spark plug. I'm gonna take the engine cover off. 2 bolts, I've already loosened these 2, and there's 2 on the back side here. I'll pull these out, this engine cover is gonna come up. Oh, there's a dead mouse in here. Ugh. Here we have, here's your ignition coil. So as this spins, there's magnets in there that creates a voltage that goes to your spark plug. You can see there's a lot of damage here. If that was touching that metal, it would probably short out and cause a major issue. So I'm gonna tape that back up before we close it up, but it's not touching metal, so that's not the problem. Plus we have spark, so I know it's not the problem. Airflow down, that looks good. No obstructions there. All that looks pretty good. Everything's pointing to either this guy, or this guy. I just changed the fuel filter this year, so I know it's not the fuel filter. So a couple of things that could go wrong with fuel flow. You could have a clogged fuel filter. You could have a clog in your fuel tank. But majority of the time, it's something with the carb. There also is a fuel shutoff solenoid in the carb that goes bad all the time. Hey! On these types of lawnmowers. Let's check this guy out. This is the fuel shutoff solenoid. So what this does is it stops fuel from going through your main jet in your carb when the engine's off. That helps with preventing backfiring. A lot of times those will go out. An easy way to check that is turn the switch, and if you hear a click, then that solenoid is good. So right now I know that solenoid is good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this carb off, look in there, see if there's any junk, see if any of the gaskets have been disintegrated or ripped. This is 13 years old, so to take the carb off, we take this nut off. There's one on this side. Unhook the gas line, which I've already done. I clamp it with some vice clamps to prevent it from flowing out. That's not great with these old lines because you could crack it and cause a fuel leak. I did it, it's not great. Best way to do it is to undo it and drain it into a gas can. Once we take these nuts off, this is gonna be able to come off. And then there's a hex head on these bolts here. We'll unscrew that and the whole thing can come out. Now I've got these hex heads here, get a little wrench, and then that'll unthread these bolts from that intake right there and allow the carb to come off. Unhook the solenoid wire here. Unhook that. Throttle cable. Gasket. Alright, now let's go take this guy apart and see what's going on inside. Take the bowl off, it's just 2 Phillips head screws here. Yeah, Yeah, that gasket is eat up. Floats inside this bolt so you can lift up on this if it comes out with it. There's the needle valve. All eat up. There's no way that that's stopping, preventing fuel from going from channel to channel. The way this works is, as the float goes up, it pushes that needle valve up and stops incoming gas so you don't flood it. All that actually looks pretty good. This gasket is a disaster. I don't have a rebuild kit. A rebuild kit will come with a new gasket. And honestly, you can get these off of Amazon for 25 bucks. A whole carburetor. Rebuild kit's gonna be probably $15, so I might as well just get a whole new carburetor. Got a brand new carburetor off of Amazon. Decided not to mess with that old carb and just get a new one because it's only 25 bucks. There's your main throttle. It goes here. New gasket. Throttle cable goes in first. It's easier to put it in while you're out, while the carb's out. And then these two bolts go through. Make sure your gasket's there. I got the new carb hooked up. I'm not gonna put the filter and the engine cover, everything back on yet. I just want to try it, start it, and see if it starts up with this new carb on there. Are you serious? I'm so happy now. That was it. $25 off of Amazon. That's cool. Troubleshooting recap. Knew it wasn't the starter because the starter was engaged. I knew it wasn't the battery because it had plenty of power to the starter. Check spark plug spark. That was showing that I was getting good spark. Went ahead and changed spark plug. I had a spare spark plug just to make sure nothing weird was going on with the spark plug itself. So I knew it wasn't the engine coil because I was getting spark. Knew it wasn't the gas filter. You didn't see it, but I did check flow from gas tank. I unhooked it and drained it into a little bit, drained a little bit into a gas can. So I knew I wasn't constricting gas flow from a gas tank. So after all that, and I knew there wasn't any obstruction to airflow, there was no grass or anything clogging up intake, air intake to the carb. So all that was pointing back to the carburetor. So I checked the gas shutoff solenoid. I felt that that was moving up and down. After that, the only thing it could be was something weird going on with the carb. Took the carb off, looked at it. Wasn't a lot of dirt or contamination in there, but that gasket was absolutely destroyed. I replaced that with a $25 one off of Amazon, and she started right up. So I'm gonna get the engine cover back on and probably mow the yard because it hasn't been mowed in a long time. All right, I appreciate the view as always. Thank you. Have a great day.